Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd, fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As-salatu wassalamu alayki ya Rasulallah, wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. As-salatu wassalamu alayki ya Nabiyallah, وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله. Excellence of conveying durood and salam. The noble Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam has stated, whoever recites 10 salat upon me, meaning 10 times durood pak, Allah Azza wa Jal sends 100 mercies upon him. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. My dear Islam brothers, in the book Excellence of Call to Righteousness on page 343, there are 40 Madani pearls regarding wudu. Accept the Rizvi bouquet of 40 very useful Madani pearls regarding wudu, etc. presented by Allah Hadrat, leader of Ahl Sunnah, Maulana Shah Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, Rahmatullahi Ta'ala alayh. Your knowledge will immensely be increased, insha'Allah Ta'ala. All of these Madani pearls are taken from page 613 to 646 of Fawaid Jalila, contained in the 4th volume of reference Fatawa Rizwiya. So inshallah, let's learn and correct this. Maybe you are doing this, but there's slight mistakes you might do in wudu, but we need to be very careful of. Number 1 point, one should not tightly close the eyes during wudu. Okay? If anyone does so, his wudu will still be valid. Okay? So just relax your eyes when you close them, then wash them. But if you tighten them and then wash it, it's no problem, it won't affect the wudu. The next point it mentions, if wudu is made with the lips tightly closed, like this, yeah, so your lips have gone inside, without rinsing the mouth, it will not be valid. Okay? And number 3, the water of wudu will be placed onto the pan of good deeds on the day of judgment. Remember, using water in excess is israf. Now, israf is like wasting water. Like we mentioned before, if we can get a small bucket, fill that up with water, and then just pour the water, take a handful of water and do wudu this way. This way you're not wasting water. Remember, there's accountability if you're wasting water of the masjid, even at home as well. Yeah? So be careful of wasting water. Like we come across some individuals, they wait for the hot water to come. Yeah, and it spends, because the piping system in the building is quite long, and it takes about good 5 minutes to get warm water coming through. But remember, you got double the reward of performing wudu in a cold water, yeah, in a cold night as well. Okay, moving forward. Point 4. If miswak is available, then cleaning the teeth with the finger is not sufficient to fulfill sunnah. To gain reward, however, if miswak is not available, then cleaning teeth with the finger or piece of cloth is sufficient to fulfill sunnah. For women to clean teeth with a herbal powder is sufficient even if miswak is available. And number 5, if one is wearing loosely fitted ring, yeah, then washing the skin beneath it by moving it, meaning moving the ring, is sunnah. Okay, if the ring is tightly fitted, like my ring is quite tight, yeah, and water cannot reach beneath it without moving it, then washing the skin beneath the ring by moving it is fard. Yeah, the ruling applies to eating as well. Okay, so for example, if ghusl was farz upon you and you had a tight tight ring, the water didn't flow in that part, then ghusl will not be valid. So you have to be very careful. Point 6, to wash parts of the body by rubbing them thoroughly, okay, is sunnah, both in wudu and ghusl. Like I mentioned before, you know, whenever you're doing the arms, do rub them so that your every hair and particle gets moistured as well. Same with ghusl, rub it all down properly. Don't just pour water, because there's certain areas that may stay dry as well. Like we came across yesterday, we mentioned people pour water like this, that's it. It's flowed and there's a few lines left down here. But if he had poured the water and rubbed at the same time, look, it would have reached all parts as well. Okay? So something to think about. Point 7, when washing the parts of the body during wudu, it is wajib to wash them a little more than minimum, limited determined by Sharia. So there is no doubt about them being washed up to the Sharia determined minimum limit. So my dear Islam brothers, even though we're mentioning of israf, wasting water, we might get afraid that we don't want to waste water. Do use sufficient amount of water so it reaches that part. Yeah, you might say, I want to use a little bit of water, but it might not even reach them parts. So he says, do it, thoroughly so that you clean that part properly, like at least 3 times. Okay. Point 8, to give up rinsing the mouth or sniffing the water into the nose during wudu is makruh. Makruh is disliked. Okay. One habitual of doing so will be a sinner. So if you regularly didn't do this, you'll be a sinner. Those who do not rinse the mouth in such a way that every part of the mouth up to the throat is washed as well as those who only touch the handful of water to the nose without sniffing it are all sinners. So sometimes we might take a handful of water, half a handful is sufficient, but we just do this. Water is not even going into the nose. Imagine if ghusl was farz upon you. You need to get water to that area, you need to feel it. Yeah. So sometimes we just need tawajjuh. We need someone to highlight what we are doing. Through laziness, we don't even sniff the water properly. So make sure you put it there as a puddle and give it a sniff. Make sure it reaches that part, that soft bone up here. Okay. So if this mistake is made during ghusl, then ghusl as well as the salah will not be valid at all. One should always remember this ruling. So for example, my dear Islam brothers, you did this for 40 years. You turned 40. You wasn't even sniffing the water properly to your nose. Yeah, one of the farais of ghusl. 40 years ki salah kidhar gayi hai? You've been wasting your salah. You've been, we have to be thinking about educating our at least basic necessities. If you were supposed to go to Hajj, we need to educate how we should perform Hajj. We go on, whenever we want to drive a car, we do the practical and theory, we do all that. But whatever you do, when you get married as well, when doing nikah, you need to learn the rulings of nikah, and all these things we need to educate ourselves. Same with salah. Some people are not performing the ruku and sujood properly. The qiyam, etc. Yeah, the jalsa. The jalsa is when you go into sujood, the sitting position, they're not sitting properly either. Yeah. So we need to educate ourselves whenever we're doing the basic necessities. At least know the basics. Yeah. I'll finish off with the last point. Okay. Because there's about 40 points in this, and then I'll continue this in the next dars, inshallah. Point 9. During wudu, it is sunnat al-muqadah to wash every part of the body completely 3 times. One habitual of missing it will be a sinner. Sallu ala al-habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My dear Islam brothers, as you know, every Thursday of 8 p.m. here, for Zani Madina, we have the weekly Sunnah Inspiring Ijtima. It is a Madani request that you invite other Islam brothers to join the Ijtimai Park. Ameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Jazallahu anna Muhammadan ma huwa ahlu. Bismillahi ala dini, bismillahi ala nafsi, wa wuldi, wa ahli, wa mali. Oh Allah Azza wa Jal, accept our Salat al-Zuhr. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, accept the short dars regarding wudu. If you made any mistakes in our wudu, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, accept our wudu in your court. We are learning the correct method of wudu, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal. We have rectified our mistakes, Ya Allah. We didn't know we were making these mistakes. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, with your mercy and rahmah, forgive us. Accept our ibadat, accept our neki, our good deeds that we have performed. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, give us enthusiasm to open the Quran and to recite the Quran and to learn religious knowledge. Accept the du'as of the Hazreen and Majlis. Bless them with true Iman, protection of Iman, and death with Iman. Bless our children at school, protect them, protect their dignity, and protect them from zina. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, bless our families, give us unity. Ya Allah, give us good health and death with Iman. Those who have requested for du'as and supplication, our donation majlis, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, accept their sincere du'as. Those who have intended to give the qurbani to Dawateislami, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, bless them. And Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, give them death with Iman. Sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamun ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.